I'm a perfume influencer and I'm about to shit on my own community and tell you exactly why you shouldn't trust perfume influencers. To start off with, I am in no way, shape, or form saying do not trust influencers as a whole. There are some to be aware of. I think we all know that. But at the end of the day, it's really up to your own judgment. And in today's video, I'm specifically talking about my own niche, which is perfume influencers, which this includes me too. Everything I'm saying here has to do with me as well. Our sense of smell is the most powerful sense that we have out of all of our senses. This makes reviewing perfumes one of the hardest things to review objectively because our sense of smell is our most emotionally connected sense. Therefore, when I say I love this perfume because it's nostalgic or whatever the case, that is my experience with it. That does not mean you're going to have the same experience with it and vice versa. Obviously, perfume is not a very deep thing. It's definitely superficial, but I also feel like it can be a very deep thing because while a certain perfume to me or you can smell good or bad, that same perfume can remind somebody of their grandmother's house, of the first date that they went on, a vacation, or it can even bring up a really difficult memory of something that they went through. So sometimes it really is that deep. And that's why no influencer, including me, can tell you exactly how to feel about a perfume. And I've been really loving to do these kinds of videos where it's coming from a perspective of someone that is in the industry. So my last video talking about all of the harsh truths, ugly truths of owning a ton of perfumes and having a huge collection. If you missed that video, definitely check it out. I had a lot of really great feedback on that video, so I'm assuming you guys are enjoying these, but I just feel like they're interesting when they come from somebody that has actually experienced these things. So once again, this video is coming from somebody that is currently a perfume influencer and has been for the past 6 years, someone that has gotten and gets PR, someone that has done sponsorships, and someone that has tested hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of perfumes. I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that anybody is lying. Of course, there are some that just plain out do lie, and you just have to use your own discernment. You can't trust everyone in any niche. I am no professional perfumer or anything like that. I'm just on here to give my own opinion on what I think about perfumes. Have I worked with brands? Of course. Do I just take any brands that comes my way? No. If you were to go into my emails, you could see thousands of brands that have reached out to me that I have declined. And I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that every glowing perfume review, I'm in no way saying that they are lying, but there are reasons why you should never solely rely on perfume influencers before spending your money. And these are those reasons. So point number one, obviously, perfume is subjective. It is super, super subjective. I feel like it's one of the most subjective things, way more so than makeup or clothing, because makeup can only look one way, you know what I mean? I mean, I guess makeup is a little subjective too because it may work differently on somebody else, but perfume I just feel like is an entirely different thing because one person can smell one thing, another person can smell something else, another person can smell something else. On this person it lasts 2 hours, on this person it lasts 6 hours, on this person it lasts all day. When you see somebody that is raving and raving about a perfume, you have to go out there and smell that perfume. Don't just be like, yeah, this person raved about it and so now I'm gonna go and spend my hard-earned money on this perfume just because this one person said it was really good. Again, not saying that that person lied, but no perfume smells the same on everyone. There's perfumes I love, you guys can hate. I've gotten those comments plenty of times where people are like, hey, I went out and bought this per your recommendation and I absolutely hate it. And I'm like, I don't really know what to say to that because this is my opinion at the end of the day. So I'm sorry that it came to a point where you had to use your hard-earned money. I do not take that lightly. That's why I try to bring reviews that are as honest as possible. But at the end of the day, I cannot give you a definite answer on just because I like this perfume, you're gonna like it as well. Our skin chemistries are way different. The climate that we live in could be way different. And even personal memories, all these things can affect how a perfume will smell like to you and me. A perfume that one person calls the sexiest perfume to ever exist can smell absolutely awful to somebody else. Just because I love a perfume, that doesn't guarantee that you will, and vice versa. That's not dishonesty, that's just how perfume works. I think what makes it a little bit more useful is when you find a perfume reviewer that has more or less a very, very similar taste as you. Through watching a ton of their videos, you kind of get to really know their taste, and if that aligns with you, then that might be more helpful, especially if you tried certain recommendations from theirs and you love them just like them, there's a higher chance that you'd probably really like a perfume that they review if they also like it. Number 2, and this is gonna be really honest, PR can create a subconscious bias. And this also doesn't mean that influencers are lying, but when a certain brand continuously sends free products to you, it can make someone a lot more excited to review them. And that's just plain old human psychology. If you feel favored, you're going to act like you were favored. I don't think most influencers intentionally mislead people, but if a brand has sent you 10 gorgeous packages and they really went out of their way to make you feel valued, it then becomes harder to be completely objective. And that brings me to my next point, which is sponsored content is not always bad, but viewers should definitely know the difference. You should definitely be able to tell right off the bat if a sponsorship is a sponsorship. It should always be disclosed. It is actually illegal to not disclose if you're being sponsored. On every single one of my sponsored videos, I number one always mention it in the video where I'm talking about the perfume that, hey, this is sponsored by this company. And also it is always in my description box. If you scroll all the way to the end, you can see if I'm being sponsored by a certain company or not. Affiliate links are different from sponsorships because I'm not being sponsored by those companies. But if you do purchase through my links, I do earn a little bit of commission. That is also stated in the video. So whatever video I'm talking about a certain product, you can see, I don't know if it's in the bottom right or left, but you can see that the creator earns a little bit of commission. So it is stated there as well. It should always be made aware to the viewer that this is sponsored. A lot of people think that just because a video is sponsored, it automatically is a lie. That is not the case, at least not with my content. I don't work with any brands that give me strict scripts where they're like, hey, you have to say that you love this. In fact, every single company that I've chosen to work with has very minimal script. It's not even a script. It's just, you know, a few talking points that you have to say. Like if I'm working with said company, they just want you to say like, this is how their website works, certain sales they have going on, promotions, things like that. But never have I worked with a company that's like, hey, you have to say that this smells really good. I would never work with somebody that does that. Sponsorships do not automatically mean someone is lying, but you should always know when somebody is being paid. Sponsorships are a legitimate way that creators earn a living. So at the end of the day, sponsorships are not the problem because they allow creators like me to keep making content. But the most important thing about sponsorships is transparency. I've done sponsored videos myself and totally believe that you can be sponsored and honest because that is what I do. But as a viewer, which I am also, it's also smart to keep in the back of your mind that every reviewer, including me, has preferences, biases, personal experiences that won't always necessarily match yours. My next point is trends create echo chambers. I'm sure you've noticed this, especially on short form content, because it's just easy to scroll through and see a bunch of people talking about the same perfume and kind of even saying the same thing. One person will come out and be like, this smells so luxurious and sexy, and then 10 more people repeat it, and now suddenly everyone is saying the same thing about a perfume. Sometimes people just hop on the bandwagon, you know? It's like, if this person said it and they got views, I'm gonna talk about the same perfume and use those same talking points and get views myself. And again, all those other people that are following this other person that said it smelled luxurious doesn't mean that they're lying. They might like it too. But for the viewer, it creates this sense of this perfume is just so special and it smells so good that all these people are saying the same thing about it. I have to get it. It creates this sense of almost urgency. Like, this is so special. I have to go out and get it because look, all these people are saying it smells this way. Another one, nobody wears 400 perfumes equally. What I mean by this is many influencers own hundreds upon hundreds of perfumes at a time. Therefore, they're not wearing it every single day to know the ins and outs of how that perfume wears and performs in certain situations that maybe you have. They don't know how it performs in certain seasons or situations or even over time because they're not putting it through the ringer like that. They're putting it on once in a blue moon because they have all these other perfumes, whereas you may buy it and for you it's more of a daily perfume, and that's where you have to use your judgment. If the perfume reviewer has all these perfumes and they wear it once in a blue moon and they're saying it smells a certain way, but your lifestyle is, you know, you work in an office all day in a tight enclosed space, and even though it may be a good perfume, like that person said, like, oh, it smells luxurious and it's beast mode, it's amazing, but it's just not suitable for your lifestyle. So again, discernment. Like, you just have to use your judgment. Don't solely rely on one thing that an influencer said. And my last point is when you're going about buying a perfume, Do not go based off of what one influencer said, even if that one influencer is me. Because if you're about to spend $300 on a perfume, I wouldn't want just my opinion to be the only opinion you took on going to spend that amount of money that I know you worked really, really hard for. Don't just watch one review. Watch 5 reviews, 10 reviews. Read comments, see what other people are saying about it. Go on Fragrantica, read more reviews. Sample it if you can. That's my main thing that I always say in my videos. Never blind buy a perfume. No matter how blind buy safe somebody says a perfume is, it may not be that for you. And remember, even my opinion is just one opinion, and I would never go spend that amount of money just based off of one person's opinion. You may find somebody that you really, really trust, and maybe after some time you've known the likes of that person, so maybe you feel more comfortable doing that. I have influencers like that I personally watch where I can kind of trust a little bit more their opinion, but still I'm not just gonna go based off of one person's review. I'm always gonna do my own research on it, look at more reviews, look at what just normal non-influencer people are saying about it as well. Because personally, when somebody is going to go and spend even $50 on something, I don't take it lightly that you use your own hard-earned money just based off my opinion. That is also why I try to give the most honest opinions that I can, because I have absolutely nothing to lose by saying my honest opinion, and it would weigh on my subconscious so much if I just came on here spewing bullshit just to get people to buy stuff, because I just don't understand the reasoning behind that. Like, why would I do that? That's all I have for this video. I guess a bonus little point is the best influencers also can admit when they're wrong. I've totally changed my mind on perfumes as well, just like maybe you have. I mean, example, Kayali Vanilla 28. I started off hating it. I literally made a video where I was like, this is the worst perfume ever in the world. It smells like a church. Cut to me now, I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Maybe to somebody that has just hopped on my channel and you see that, they're like, oh, she's definitely sponsored by Kayali, to just drastically change her opinion. But I have never once worked with Kayali. Sometimes a fragrance can just grow on you. Our opinions evolve, and that's what happened with me with that perfume and many others, and also vice versa, where I really love something and ended up not liking it. I get those comments a ton on my channel where it's like, oh, you said you love this and then you declutter it, so how can we trust you? And I totally get that from the viewer perspective, but again, you also have to keep in mind that I have a huge collection. So for you to understand my reasoning with that, then I would urge you to watch my previous video where I talk about all the ugly truths of having a large perfume collection. Definitely go and watch that. I think you'd understand where I'm coming from with that side of things as well. But that is it for this video. I hope this comes across in the way that I mean it. I do not mean this in any malicious way to just be like, yeah, all influencers are lying, because absolutely not. There's so many people that I fully trust their opinions, and I've bought so many things per their opinion and loved them. Of course, there are things that I bought that have not worked out, but I would never blame it on that person. It just didn't work out for me, you know? Let me know your thoughts from you guys' perspective. I would love to know in the comments down below, and any differences that you would like to see in certain perfume influencers. If there are any, leave them in the comments and maybe I can work on them too. But that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn your post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.